Bruh, we got a video for y'all. What? Why am I saying we? Scratch that. I have a video for y'all. It is currently what? 5 in the morning, bro. Y'all see that time? It is 5 in the morning. I'm not live right now. I think I ain't been live in 3 days? I've been slacking. I gotta get back on my shit. I was supposed to go live Mother's Day, but it was Mother's Day, you feel me? So cut me some slack. But if I was live, catch me at Just Your Cow. We got some chilling scares, five most disturbing 4chan threads. Oh yeah, before we get started, bro, get one good ass look at the dreads, bro. Get one good ass look at the dreads. They finna be gone, bro. They finna be gone. I'm finna be baldy. I'ma look fire with them. Most fire dreads on Twitch.
2017,
Getting
an
cut.
anonymous 4chan
You know, I
user
gotta.
posted a
You
picture
feel
of a
me?
gas mask, 2 bottles of vinegar, and a jar of bleach.
I'ma try not to
captioned,
pause as much.
"About to test out this gas mask." While some brushed it off, thinking that the OP was just messing around, a few showed genuine curiosity and egged on the OP to continue his experiment. Okay, post results if you live.
What?
However, this curiosity turned into concern when the OP returned with an update 20 minutes later, stating, "What could go wrong? We'll report." Alongside this, he posted a picture of the vinegar being poured into a mysterious yellow substance, which looked shockingly similar to concentrated.
That is not a mysterious yellow substance. That is what is that? Espresso. What's that? Fabuloso. Yeah, it's that Fabuloso, bro. He ain't cooking nothing. That's Fabuloso and
For
lemon
those
juice.
who don't know, chlorine gas
Fuck
is a
outta here.
deadly war
He
chemical
just one of
that was
them
used
Reddit
by the German
upbeats.
army during the First World War. More importantly, the only chemicals needed to synthesize this dangerous gas are bleach
shit.
and vinegar,
Never mind.
the exact materials
Never
OP
mind.
had with him.
Nah,
The
never
OP
mind.
either
I'm
didn't
chatting.
know about the gas or seriously underestimated its danger. Unfortunately, by the time he realized the gravity of his situation, it was already too late.
Also, yo,
Because just a
like, comment, and subscribe, bro. Like, we're like 2 minutes into the recording, and y'all just haven't
few
even
minutes
like
later, he returned with a
bothered to
disturbing
click the subscribe
update.
button. Y'all see
Holy,
that
it
105
hurts.
down there?
Might have to go to the hospital. This also included
make
a
it
picture
200.
that showed his arm developing blisters
Let's
and
make that
turning an
200.
alarming shade of red. These symptoms matched perfectly with known signs of chlorine gas exposure, sparking immediate concern for the safety
Ew,
of
that was his
perfectly developing
hand?
blisters and turning an alarming shade of red. These symptoms matched perfectly with known signs of chlorine gas exposure, sparking immediate concern for the safety of OP and anyone in his vicinity.
Yeah, I'm keeping one of my headphones
That'll
off.
burn your skin
It's
and
5 in
soak
the
into your
morning.
surroundings.
I'm in the
Legit
country, my boy.
question. Please tell me you don't have an apartment / pets or roommates. Depending on your mixture, you just messed up big time. Let's say you made only 4 ounces of gas. That comes out to 29,962 parts per million. Concentrations of about 400 parts per million and above are generally fatal over 30 minutes. And
So he just made a ticking time bomb that's gonna kill everybody in that apartment complex. Yo, get him out of here. Get him out of here.
1,000 parts per million and above, fatality ensues within only a few minutes. Dude, go vent yourself somewhere
Bro,
and
get him
literally
outta here,
bathe
bro.
with a garden hose. You are going to melt otherwise. It acts on flesh, not just on breathing pathways. It melts flesh, which makes people drown in their own melted lungs. But your arms can get messed up too. While the other users were panicking,
arms
the
can
OP
be
made 2
too.
other posts,
Why did he
each
redact
showing his
messed
arm
up?
in increasingly worse condition.
Oh, he
It's
probably
like the
said effed up, you know.
and fall off, still hurts, with his last reply
Bro.
simply stating, "Goodbye." After posting this update, the OP vanished from the thread, leading many to believe that he might have actually passed away due to this experiment.
Why didn't he just call
Some even claimed the
CDC?
incident had taken the lives of several of his neighbors. However, despite extensive searching, I wasn't able to find any news reports mentioning such a gruesome incident. If something of this magnitude had actually happened, it would have definitely made headlines. More importantly, I couldn't find a single credible source confirming just the OP's death either. And otherly, I couldn't find
It looks like there aren't many great great matches for your search. Try using words that might appear on the page you're looking for. For example, cake recipes instead of how to make a cake. Need help? Take a look at other tips for searching on Google.
a single credible
Yeah, I just
source
had to read that
confirming just the
paragraph for
OP's death
Had to
either.
sound a little smart.
In other words, we
stuttering
don't know
right
what
there.
happened to him after his life closed. The
Stuttering
lack
once.
of any news coverage could suggest that the
One
OP
and
may
a half.
have survived the chlorine gas exposure, possibly after calling emergency services and being rushed to the hospital. But that's highly unlikely. Even in moderate concentration, chlorine gas can end someone's life in minutes.
So you can
Yet
just
the
make that at
kept
home.
posting about his worsening state for over 30 minutes after creating
That's
the deadly
dangerous, bro.
chemical. Which brings us to the other possibility.
That's crazy
that this whole
dangerous.
thing was completely fake from the beginning.
It was a movie
To some
stunt.
viewers, the peeling skin on his arm looks suspiciously like makeup, or at most some well-done special effects. A now deleted user on Reddit even added a personal anecdote to back this theory, stating, "I have a face mask exfoliator that goes on wet and looks pretty much the same as Anon's skin in the first pic, and peels off like the following pics. See how the skin is peeling off and shows regular skin underneath? If he was actually burned, the skin underneath would look red and or bleeding. He probably just grabbed one of his girlfriend's exfoliators and slapped it on because it looked red enough to fool."
Now tell me I'm not big brain. Tell me a nigga like me don't got the big brain. Had to throw the sound effect on y'all for that niggas. Throw the little soundboard. I do not use my soundboard in my recordings. I don't know why I'm clicking that. But I called it. I said he's faking it for Reddit updates. He probably got like 50,000K. 50,000K.
If the whole thing was staged, it would also explain
It's 5
some of the
o'clock.
strange
It's 5 in the
behavior
morning,
I
bro.
noticed from the
It's
OP.
5 in the morning.
Things like, why did he stay in the bathroom with the hazardous gas for so long instead of rushing out immediately? And how was he able to endure the excruciating pain he must have been in, all while taking perfectly framed still pictures of his arm?
Y'all didn't think of that in the
despite
first
all the
place?
signs suggesting it was a complete hoax, there's still no definitive way to know for sure. Maybe one day a news article will be found that announced the OP's death, or perhaps the OP will come forward and reveal the truth.
Why would he?
Until then, the gas mask incident.
Why would he
remains one of
reveal the
most
truth? He probably
disturbing
got so much
threads in fortune
Reddit
history.
awards. He probably made like $150.
Bank robber. On August 20, 2015,
Brother, y'all be hearing my accent? Bro, I'm from Kentucky. Do y'all be hearing my fucking accent? It's like country as shit.
user posted his plans
That
to
shit
rob a
lame,
bank later
bro.
that day,
I'm about
stating,
to start talking like this, though.
"Okay, today is the day. I'm going to walk into the bank at 3 p.m. with sunglasses, a hat, a sweater, a BB gun, and this note. I'll get out, dump the
I'm
sweater
afraid
and
of some
BB gun,
snot
and ride out on my
right there,
bike back to the hotel. I'm serious. Wish me luck." Alongside this was a picture of a handwritten note that he planned to hand over to the bank teller, stating things
I want
like,
$5,000.
$5,000, $150 bills only, and I have a gun in my jacket. However, threads like these aren't anything new on 4chan. More often than not, it's just some anonymous user who's bored, trolling, or desperate for attention.
Bank robbery hasn't been this easy since the 30s. You're actually required to wear a mask inside financial institutions. Simply walk in, hand the teller a note, and walk out with free money. Banks steal from us all the time. Why aren't you robbing banks? My nigga, if you walk into your local bank here in 2025, you're bound to see a nigga with an AR-15 fully geared up, or he's sitting there with a pistol, hand on that pistol the whole time, eyeing your shit. You look suspicious, he eyeing your shit. What you gonna do? You hand that bank teller the note. They got them secret codes. Cough 2 times, he's gonna look over. If she winks, oh, that means you clipped. He got that Glock 45 already on your ass. You ain't going nowhere. That bitch a missile shooter. Katuka, Katuka. That shit taking your fucking body off, my nigga. Taking limbs apart.
So, despite the OP's insistence on being serious about
would
his
try to rob a
plans,
bank.
this one seemed no different. One user even recognized the OP
2025,
from a previous
she
thread where he
tracked
talked
that
about
all
robbing the bank
times,
for
boy.
$20,000 instead.
I look at 7
To make
days before my
matters worse,
birthday.
the OP didn't use a VPN before, allowing someone to trace his approximate location back to Jacksonville. By this point, most users saw the OP as nothing more than a clueless wannabe. However, while everyone was making fun of him, the OP did what no one expected. He followed through with his plans, setting off a manhunt that would last for weeks. It started with him showing off the BB gun he brought to the robbery and getting drunk to calm his
He
nerves.
robbed him with
From
a
there, he
BB
stayed
gun?
active in the thread and kept everyone updated on his whereabouts. He also ditched anonymity and began posting under the Anon Dump username so others could follow his updates more easily. Minutes before the planned time, he posted about someone stealing his bike, which he was going to use for the robbery, before going completely silent. This led many to believe that the plan was cancelled, but around 25 minutes later, Anon Dump...
Are you serious? Are you using your own handwriting? Are you dumb? Is that what that said?
This led many to believe that the plan
Seriously using handwriting? Are you this stupid? If yes, then you're doomed.
was cancelled.
What?
But around 25 minutes later, Anon Dump
Like you can just
returned
track
with
somebody's
images of the
handwriting,
money he
bitch.
stole,
We're not in
along
school
with a
no more.
detailed
Fuck
description
outta
of
here.
what he did
So many
and
niggas
what he
write
was
the
doing
same.
next.
Ain't no
However,
way.
while he saw himself as a master criminal, the police weren't far behind. His hat and glasses did little to hide his identity, allowing investigators to plaster his face across news networks. They also put a $3,000 reward for any information that could lead to his
He's
arrest.
a dumbass.
This left the OP fearing for his life as the gravity of his actions began to sink in. Hey guys, guy who robbed the bank here. My face is on the news and there's a $3,000 reward for tips leading to my capture. I'm scared. Robbing a bank wasn't worth it at all. I have like $4,800 left. I'm scared of leaving the hotel. I want to get out of here, but somebody may see me. I'm trapped. And this fear was justified. He was now a fugitive who was being actively pursued by the police. On top of that, he also had a BB gun on him, which looked like a real gun at first glance. If the
airsoft shit, that CO2. Shout out my boy Javion. We used to play with them guns all the time.
He could lose his life over a relatively small amount. Despite his growing fear, he continued updating everyone on 4chan about his whereabouts.
CO2 almost blew up in my hand. I didn't know you were supposed to hurry up and click it in. That shit was going. I'm like, oh shit, my shit ain't going on. It ain't going on. My hand getting all cold and shit. I'm like, uh-oh. I threw that gun. I threw it. I thought it was gonna blow up, bro.
He managed to escape the city and vanish from
that
the
shit
threat.
Would not stop hissing at me.
Now, it's unclear what happened next, but based on what I've seen, it's likely the investigators were already monitoring his updates on 4chan.
Yeah,
and his post about taking a cab from the hotel gave them the lead they needed to track him down. On September 2nd, 2015, authorities arrested 26-year-old Pedro Smith, aka Anon Dump, about 70 miles from the crime scene in Gainesville. He was charged.
So 70 miles away from Gainesville, that's like a hour and a half drive, ain't it? That's like an hour and a half drive. So let's see if my geography's right. So he said 7.5. It should be an hour drive, right?
70 miles.
Yeah, hour 30 minutes, hour 20. Yeah.
From the crime scene in Gainesville.
Yeah, see, I just know geography
with armed robbery and faced a minimum of 10 years in prison. However, after a trial in September, he was sentenced to only 3 years in prison, which didn't make sense to some people on the internet. How did he get away with such a light sentence after robbing a bank and hiding from the police for so many days? A few people looked into his whereabouts after his release in March of 2018 and discovered that he was living in a luxurious home worth over $1.5 million in Miami. This pointed to the possibility that he had wealthy parents who could also afford top-tier lawyers to help reduce his sentence. In other words, the only reason Pedro had for robbing a bank and potentially risking his life was to gain the attention and approval of other users on 4chan.
Yo, Pedro, you that nigga. Don't let Chillin' Scares talk to you like you some type of bum, my boy. You just robbed a bank and got off with that shit scot-free. 3 years of your life. Oh, wow. You already old as shit, my boy. What's 3 years gonna do? Was it fun? Was it worth it? For your little measly ass 3 bands? Or how much you had? 4,800? Was that shit worth it? I don't think it was. Nigga, you could have made that shit in what? 3 months? 2 months at that? Get your money up, my boy. That's all I gotta say. Get a job. Go work at a factory. Coca-Cola hiring.
Researching these 4chan videos is some of the sketchiest research I do on this. There is no trust name.
Nah, facts though. Nah, facts though. They ain't paying me, so I'm not paying you.
Seeking information about a disturbing picture they recently came across. It read, on one of the recent iceberg chart threads, someone mentioned the Monon tunnels not being on the iceberg. When I went to Google what these tunnels were, the only results I got were the original thread and pic related. Does anyone know more about it? I don't know how to read EXIF data. Coupled with the post was an image that looked like the aftermath of a horrific crime scene. It depicts 2 masked figures standing in a grass field at night, their index fingers raised towards the sky. Behind them is what looks like the remains of a young child.
Yo, I don't like watching this shit at night, bro. Like, it's early as fuck right now. Y'all think I'm lying? Look at that time. 5:11. It's 5:11. Yo, this shit be freaking me out, bro.
Lying face down on the grass. Unfortunately, no one on 4chan had any clue what the OP was talking about either. One user did claim to have seen a similar image back in the 2000s when they first started using 4chan, but they didn't provide any further information. The contents of the image also divided the community in two. Some speculated that this was the trophy photo the 2 men took after.
I'm gonna be live tomorrow, y'all. We playing scary games.
They look like hunters posing with a fresh kill. while others weren't
This
so
video's
convinced.
going up literally.
I feel like this might just be
10 minutes.
some kind of photo
Like 10
shoot.
minutes after I record
You know,
this.
like a bunch of kids hanging out and they decided why not take some pictures, which led them to taking this picture
I'm on my
just for them
flight
to show it
reaction,
around
video
on
a
the internet
day,
for
every
shock
day.
or something. Which begs the question, what is this really? I tried searching for answers myself, however, information surrounding this image is surprisingly hard
Have
to
y'all
find.
ran into some shit like this? Have y'all seen some shit like this? Have y'all seen people take pictures like this in fields? Bro, people be on some... I'm not gonna lie, there was one time I was walking past the park, Moreland Park. I think it was 2 in the morning, I was walking home. Whose house was I? I don't know what I was doing. I think I was just walking to the store. I was walking home from the liquor store, bro, and there was this it's like a little club right beside it. I don't know what it is. It's like a little small red building. Bro, when I tell you, I walked past that shit, and a motherfucking meth head was peeking at me from around. I'm about to cry. I'm about to cry. Oh my god, I'm about to cry. Holy shit. Bro, when I tell you this motherfucker, imagine his eyes are like right here and he's peeking at me over the fence. Bro, oh my fucking goodness. That shit shook me. I was stuck. Their flight was not a thing, bro. That shit was not a thing.
For
It was
starters,
stuck.
the
I
OP
was stuck there.
mentioned an iceberg chart thread in their post, but never provided the link or even the name of the
Because you don't know what they gonna do to
Looking
you,
at
bro.
the image itself, there's
You don't
not
know
much
what
we
they're
can
gonna do
gather
to you,
from it
my boy.
either. There are no visible landmarks
They are
or even
unpredictable.
stars in the sky that could help
The
us
brain
pinpoint
is
the location where
scrambled.
the image was taken. The only clue we have is the name, the Monon Tunnels, referring to the tiny town called Monon, Indiana. But even that's not much help, since the town is littered with hundreds of
literally
flat
right
grass
above
patches that could have
Indiana.
served as the backdrop for this image. The camera noise makes it near impossible to estimate the year this image was taken based on the image quality as well. And there wasn't any useful information in its embedded data either. I also couldn't find any exact matches on the internet outside the original 4chan through reverse. Image searching. However, while looking for similar images, I came across something that could potentially clue us into the origin of this unsettling
This
image.
motherfucking gun,
You see,
my
there
nigga.
are two distinct possibilities for what it represents. First is that it was taken by a couple of serial killers as trophy photo proof of their horrible crime. But I wasn't able to find any matching incident that happened in Monon or its surrounding area. Even if the killers were never caught, there would still probably be a report where the victim's description aligns with the person we see in the image. Which leads us into the second, more likely possibility. This was simply a group of friends, and the person lying in the background is actually an adult who likely passed out after a night of drinking. Now, there's no way to know if the disturbing feel of the image was intentional or not, but the possibility of this being a completely harmless picture is fairly high. Reverse image searching it brings up hundreds of similar photos, with people having fun and lying down on a patch of grass at night. That being said, this is nothing more than conjecture on my part, and the reality could be anything. Then there's also the...
Do y'all see this nigga's name right here? Pube Dreads. Yo, hold up. I'm telling y'all, bro. I'm cutting my shit, bro. I'm gonna look good as fuck.
question of how the OP got their hands on this image if it's nowhere else to be found on the internet.
Everybody
Sadly, it's been over 7 years since the original thread, meaning it's unlikely we'll ever uncover the truth.
It's our first time coming to my house. Hey.
Spoon and duct tape experiment. On the 9th of April 2010, an anonymous 4chan user posted a fun science experiment for...
Hey you, have a look at this. I know this is not video related, but you have to try this. 1, go to your kitchen, find a metal spoon. Teaspoon works normal, but normal ones are better. Get yourself a lighter, big flame better. Get some duct tape, wrap it around the handle for about 4 to 6 lighters. Start heating up the spoon with a lighter, make it really hot, holding it just above the flame for about 2 minutes. Go to the faucet, turn it on cold, water on full force, hold the spoon directly under the faucet. Shit, massive Bix? What? Get massive? I don't know what that means. Massive Bix? Hey, yo. Send massive dicks? Hey, yo. Post your results? These motherfuckers freaky frogs. Y'all like how I read that sentence though?
others to try.
Y'all like
The
how I read that
instructions
list?
were as follows.
Type shit.
Go to your kitchen and find a nice metal spoon. Teaspoons work too, but normal ones are better. Get yourself a lighter. The bigger the flame, the better. Get some duct tape and wrap it around the handle, about 4 to 6 layers. Start heating up the spoon with the lighter. Make it really, really hot. Holding it just above the flame for about 2 minutes should work. Go to a faucet and turn on cold water at full force. Hold the spoon directly under the faucet. Post results. At first glance, this experiment
He didn't even want to read it either. That means send massive dicks. That's what he just said.
looked like it had something to do with steam. Maybe pressing the hot spoon under the faucet would instantly vaporize the water, filling the room with a sudden burst of steam or fog, something along those lines. When, in reality, the results were much worse. Whoever thought of this wicked experiment did so with the intention of hurting people, and unfortunately their plan worked better than they could have expected. Within the first hour of the thread going live, nearly a dozen people had injured themselves attempting to follow the instructions. I thought, hey, what could go wrong, and I tried it. At first, it steamed in my face like crazy, and then the spoon started ticking and split into 3 parts, one shooting through a plate, one through a cut, and the last barely missed me. I don't believe this, so I thought I would try this, expecting something cool would happen, like a lot of smoke, but instead I got a shrapnel.
Yo, I'm telling you, I'm hearing something at my door. If something happens, I'm keeping it on recording, and I'm finna fucking boom a nigga.
Spoon. It nearly exploded in my hand and shards went off in all directions, causing me to take cover. This nearly cost me my life. I'm not coming here again. OP, why? I covered my face expecting steam. My hands are bleeding so much it hurts. No one do this. Extreme cooling causes metals to burst. Now, 4chan is no stranger to causing widespread harm with these cool experiments, like the one I covered in my previous 4chan video. However, this one stood out for just how dangerously destructive it was. It used extremely common household items like duct tape and a spoon. And because it didn't involve any chemicals, people were far less cautious about just how dangerous it could be. According to one explanation, heating the spoon causes the inner layers of the tape to become extremely hot, almost to the point of melting, while the outer layers remain cool enough to still touch. Then, as the hot spoon comes under cold water, it quickly cools down. But since the inner tape around the handle is still scorching hot, it causes extreme temperature and pressure differences within the spoon, causing it to explode, sending shrapnel everywhere. And while the damage on 4chan was already immense, that was only the beginning. From there, this experiment spread like wildfire to other popular forum sites like Newgrounds, claiming even more victims in the process.
I got a question. When other people are doing reactions, do they be blabbering? Like, niggas, like, people y'all be watching, they be blabbering like me? Because I feel like I feel like half of y'all like when I just be talking my talk, but you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna talk my shit no matter what. I'm gonna pause the video as many times I want. I'm gonna do an I'm Dante reaction if I had to. I'll turn an 18-45-second video to fucking 3 hours. I stretch this bitch out every 10 seconds if I wanted to. If I wanted to, I would. You know, don't tempt me. I'll put this in 0.25 and I'll make this video drag. Don't tempt me, boy. Don't tempt me.
The spoon and duct tape experiment copy pasta has since faded into obscurity. So, at the very least,
I remember somebody said I talk too much. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck you want me to do? Sit here and just stare at the screen and watch the video with you? That's pointless, my nigga. Go to the video yourself. If you want to do that, I'm not finna just sit here. Wow, that's crazy.
Epileptic attack. Back in 2008, some
Wow.
4chan users got together and came up with one of
Epilepsy.
the most cruel pranks in the site's history.
Whoa, chat. Crazy,
now,
chat.
Unfortunately, most of that thread has been
Y'all
lost
seeing
to
that?
time. The only surviving proof I could find
Whoa.
was this screenshot detailing what to do, stating, epileptic forum raid. 1.
I don't think I
make
can
an
watch that. If he starts doing this flashing
function
shit,
gifs,
I'm not.
etc.
I'm skipping past
3.
that. Like,
Troll the user base.
warning, y'all.
4.
I don't know.
Question marks. 5. Profit. Their target was the Epilepsy Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to supporting individuals with epilepsy and helping them find the care they need. After agreeing on a plan, the group of anonymous users headed over to the Foundation's website and exploited a security vulnerability.
I've never seen a seizure happen in real life, and I don't want to see anyone experience that. Bro, that looks painful. Painful. My brother had one when I think I was a baby. I don't remember this, My mom said it happened in the mall or something, and I was like, yikes. Because I remember she told me she got on to me because I was flashing a light in his eyes when I was older. He's my big brother, so I was flashing the light in his eyes, and he was getting mad, and he was talking about stop it. And I kept beep 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 beep. Mom got on to me. Quit doing that. He had a seizure. I was like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck's a seizure? How do you expect me to know something? Tell me this before I start doing this, because if I accidentally killed bro or gave him brain damage, how do you think that made me feel? You need to start telling people stuff. Start telling people stuff that you tell people your problems.
With flashing animated GIFs.
Don't let people guess. Tell people your funky problems.
Tragically, this was just as effective as they expected. Within seconds of the attack, dozens of users began experiencing intense migraines, with some even suffering full-blown seizures. One of the site's visitors, 33-year-old Rianne Foltz, described her painful experience in a later interview, stating, "It was a spike of pain in my head, and the lockup that only happens with really bad ones. I don't think I've had a seizure like that in about a year." She was just one of many victims that were swept up in what can only be described as a truly evil act. All the while, the 4chan attackers were celebrating their victory, laughing at the victim's pain, and calling the attack incredible
2008.
and amazing. Fortunately, the Epilepsy Foundation's IT department managed to quickly take control of the situation before it escalated into a widespread crisis. And while I couldn't find any solid proof, a few sources suggest that the attack may have triggered an FBI investigation. Unfortunately, because of 4chan's anonymity, the people responsible for this horrible attack were never identified or held accountable.
Dang. That's crazy. Epilepsy seizure. Okay. Epilepsy? I don't think that's a joke, bro. Anything that can happen with your brain, it's like, damn. Imagine that pain. I don't know what that feels like, but I'm probably imagining it feels like a tingling sensation. Not a good tingle, like you're in a TV static and you're just stuck. Like it's like a brain freeze from drinking McDonald's Sprites. 1,000 McDonald's Sprites at once in your body. That's what I think it feels like. But hey, I don't know. I don't want to figure out. I don't want anyone near me to figure out. Oh, look at that. New Creepcast episode. I got something to listen to at work. But alright, follow me at Just Account on Twitch, we be live and shit. We be live. We be bullying in the chat, you feel me, type shit. Shout out Chillin' Scares. Shout out you. Shout out me. Shout out the Rolling Stones. Shout out my earrings. What am I talking